way.
Who do you have
There's
going?
no way.
Who do you have going for you have Dwayne Haskins going for the Giants?
I think they had to.
If they're going quarterback, I want to say Haskins, but
I don't know if they're going to do it.
I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think
they're
they're
going
going to
defensive player.
Hey,
I think they try and trade for Rosen.
if I'm you, Rob, and they get Locke, I'm not mad at all. I just looked at this man's stats. Yeah, Drew Lock, he had 3,000 plus yards in 3 straight seasons.
It's about time we success Eli, man. You have to success Eli.
have
man,
to.
And Eli is being
have to.
quoted saying that he's ready for somebody to come in. He's ready to teach somebody mentor.
Exactly.
Not only that,
And that's the stage that they're at.
And you know what else it could do? It could help Eli Manning get better knowing that there's a quarterback sitting beneath him. And that can up his play.
Brother. With the sixth, overall pick in the draft, the Giants take Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones. This may be one of the worst early round picks
I'm up.
I've ever seen.
I'm just
Are you kidding me?
That is I'm just gonna have to go tweet that I'm crying.
You know, it's crazy because these microphones is motion microphones, and I was literally about to just walk out and come back. You know, take a walk.
What is going on with the New York Giants?
I knew it. I just knew it. I just said it to myself. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, those were my reactions when the Giants selected Daniel Jones with the number 6 pick. Now, if you tuned in last Thursday, in the huddle, my other radio show with Kenny C and guest co-host Robert, we covered the NFL draft for 4 hours. You know, a nice show giving the NFL fans what they want. You know, obviously some people couldn't watch the draft live on TV, and that's why, you know, you have the radio stations when you're in the car and you want to know what's going on. So that's what we did. And when the Giants had their pick, you know, it was all that talk that Dwayne Haskins is probably going to be the guy. If it's not a quarterback, it's not going to be a quarterback. It's going to be a defensive guy, all right, if it's not Haskins. But the Giants did the unthinkable, which was draft Daniel Jones, quarterback out of Duke University. Now, to be honest with you, after that pick, and I'm not even a Giants fan, don't get me wrong, but I am a native New Yorker. So sometimes, you know, just out of respect from the state that I was born and raised, I want to see the Giants do somewhat good, you know? Because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a native New Yorker. I have an uncle who is a crazy Giants fan. I mean, crazy Giants fan. So I don't want the brother to have a heart attack and something happen to him and it cause destruction in my family. I mean, it's just that simple. Football fans, we get emotional sometimes, all right? We get emotional. We get anxiety. This stuff can take us to the hospital. Just seeing our team just do something terrible when they didn't have to, you know? So I was like, I hope the Giants get it right, you know? Because at the end of the day, just because I'm in New York, we got CBS and Fox 5, and all they do is show Giants and Jets games now, all right? For those of y'all that don't got Sunday ticket and you was out in New York, most of the time you're going to be seeing the Giants play. So you want to see something. At the end of the day, this is 3 hours of your Sunday, all right? If you ain't in church, praising God, you watching the football game. So you want to see a good Giants team that can actually do something, that can actually, you know, entertain you. You know, it was nice when OBJ was there because that was the only source of entertainment I got. Him along with Saquon Barkley, that was the only source of entertainment I got from the Giants. It damn sure wasn't coming from Eli. It damn sure wasn't coming from the offensive line. It damn sure wasn't coming from nothing else. It was unless you want to add the cheerleaders to the mix, that was another side of entertainment. But you barely see the cheerleaders on the TV. So it was definitely OBJ and Saquon Barkley. But we all know what happened with OBJ. He got shipped away for absolutely nada, in my opinion. And I got on this show, and I continue to maintain to this day that was a dumb move. You know, everybody that was a Giants fan, well, not everybody, but a lot of people that I know was like, wee, the Giants, we back to the Giants old ways. We build it from the defense up, you know, da-da-da-da-da. Hold the brakes, pump the brakes. Ladies and gentlemen, David Gettleman don't know what in the world he is doing. He don't, whatsoever. This guy said, we have a plan. But damn sure I believe that plan is to tank, to lose games. That is the plan that David Gettleman got. Forget winning. They ain't trying to win. They just gave away their best player. For nothing. Zero. Do I need Chris Brown to come sing the song Zero for me? Zero. Nada. A donut. So you cannot tell me, ladies and gentlemen, from what you've seen with the Giants' moves, that they have a plan. These guys do not know what in the world they are doing. Let me add the Patriots to the mix for a second, right? Before I touch back on the Giants, just to make a comparison. What New England do? Yes, New England, obviously, they seem perfect, but they're not perfect. They had the deficiencies. They go through their rough times. But guess what? Anytime the New England Patriots, a team that a lot of Giants fans were like, well, at least we beat the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl. Well, that don't matter. Y'all haven't done nothing since. And Tom Brady has won 2 rings since and been to multiple Super Bowls since. But one thing the Patriots do, they do something stupid out of the blue moon and ship Jimmy Garoppolo away. And what did they do this draft? They got every piece of the pie that they needed to rebound from that terrible disaster move. That's good coaching. That's players. That's an organization that knows what it's doing. That's an organization that know how to rebound from a low, how to come up from being low. But look at the Giants, right? You ship away OBJ, and you mean to tell me you shipped OBJ for who? All right. Julius Peppers, decent player. Not OBJ status, obviously 2 positions, but still, decent player. But, I still need more. So you get picks. What did you do with these picks? Right? At the number 6 pick, you drafted Daniel Jones. Giants fans, there's a request line. You can call up if you want to. You can call up 607-753-4819. You can call up. Let me know how you feel. Because I know there's Giants fans here. We in Central New York. Most of y'all probably Bills fans. But I know for sure they're Giants fans. 607-753-4819 is a request line. Let me know how you feel before I really dive into it. You think we started off this show like this for a reason? You're right. We are. Okay? Listen. If the Giants did believe, obviously, and they did, that Daniel Jones was their guy. For whatever reason. Because based on what I saw from tape, there were 3-4 other quarterbacks, maybe 5, that could have went ahead of this guy. Based from what I saw on tape. Now, I don't know if the Giants saw a tape that we haven't seen yet. They said that he had a good senior game. Okay? That was one game. One senior game. But what has he done throughout the season? 1-5 against top 25 teams in college football. 1-5. No, I ain't make no mechanical errors. 1-5 against top 25 teams this year. Only 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in those games. While on the other side, Dwayne Haskins, a guy that was available, a guy that was taught to be the pick of the Giants, what he did, he performed better the bigger of the moment. We already know about the Michigan route when Ohio State put up 62 on Michigan in a rivalry game. That's supposed to be the hardest games. In a rivalry game. And then they beat the brakes off of Washington in the Big Ten championship. I mean, was it Washington? No, I'm bugging. Northwestern. My fault, excuse me. Northwestern. They beat the brakes off of them in the Big Ten championship game. And he performed good in the Rose Bowl. In those 3 games, this brother threw for 14 touchdowns, not 3 touchdowns. So, what mysterious tape that David Gettleman, Pat Schumer, whoever, watched that we didn't see? There gotta be a mysterious tape that they saw that we did not see. Now, I know it's Duke University. I know that they don't have the offensive line, right? The luxury of having the best players, luxury of having weapons, a luxury of having an offensive line. But still, with tape, show me where this guy, Daniel Jones, is worth a 6th pick. Can you please? And like I said, even if that was your guy, still, you should have known, use common sense, that he was going to be available at least at 17. And you could have drafted another key position and then get him at the 17 pick. And then they're going to talk about, We didn't think he was going to be that 17. What kind of mock drafts was you looking at? Ain't nobody wanted Daniel Jones. If Drew Lock fell to the second round, you damn sure to believe that Daniel Jones would have fell too. You passed on Dwayne Haskins. Even Drew Lock, who I like Drew Lock. I think that he's a quarterback that might be set up for the most success based on him going to Denver, being with John Elway. Obviously we all know who John Elway is, the quarterback that won that franchise a couple of rings, that know how to develop quarterbacks. Haven't had a good quarterback since Peyton Manning left, but he knows what to do, and all he needs is a good quarterback and some weapons. So I believe he's going to flourish. He's going to be that guy. But you passed on Drew Lock. You passed on Dwayne Haskins for Daniel Jones. What is going on in New York? Can somebody please tell me what is going on in New York? Because I want to know. I really want to know. I need to know what is going on in New York. All right, so like I said, they have a bad plan. I don't think they have a plan, and if they do have a plan, it's to tank. Now, if Daniel Jones somehow, some way, become the next Eli Manning or even better, then we'll give it to you. All the radio hosts will come on the air and say, we were wrong. We were wrong about the pick. All right? We were wrong. You got it right. We was wrong. But that's a big if, ladies and gentlemen. That is a big if. Just because this guy may have ties to the Mannings, right? Because he obviously do have ties to the Mannings, doesn't mean that that's the guy that you want to success, Eli Manning. So like I said, if push comes to shove, he becomes the next Eli, or even better, we'll say we were wrong. And Giants fans will be happy. But for right now, from what we got on paper, from what we got on film, we ain't happy. Well, let me exclude myself from it, because I'm not a Giants fan, but I am from New York. But Giants fans ain't happy at all.
Oh, fuck you can't even sing. Here's the sing something, get some pussy. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Give me the mic so I can take it away. Off on the natural charge, bon voyage. Yeah, from the home of the Dodger Brooklyn squad. Wu-Tang Killer, hubby's on the swarm. Rain on your college ass disco dorm. For you to even touch my skill, you gotta go to one killer B, and he ain't gonna kill now. Chop that down, pass it all around. Lyrics get hard, quick cement to the ground. For an EMC in any 52 states, I get psycho. Killer Norman Bates, my producer slam. My flow is like bam, jump on stage, and then I did that. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw.
Men run the world. Men have the power. Men make the decisions. It's always the men that is the stronger one. And when these girls are coming out, who are they looking up to tell them that that's not the way it has to be? And where better to do that than in sports? All these millions of girls that play sports across the country, they could come out every day, and we're teaching them great things about life skills. But wouldn't it be great if we could teach them to watch how women lead? This is a path for you to take to get to the point where in this country, we have 50% of women in power. We have right now, less than 5% of women are CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. So yes, when you look at men's basketball and 99% of the jobs go to men, why shouldn't 100 or 99% of the jobs in women's basketball go to women? Maybe it's because we only have 10% women athletic directors in Division I. People hire people who look like them, and that's the problem.
What? Go ahead. Because what she said is a bunch of facts.
It is.
All in that 1 minute.
All in that 1 minute.
I'm speechless.
People hire
People that look
who
like them.
look
I
like
think that
them.
stood out to me the most.
Who's them? Haha.
All right, people
Who's
hire
them?
people
White men?
that look like them.
Oh,
That's just how it is.
And
that just scared me because I want to go into sports.
But what I'm gonna say is, don't let that stop you.
It's
you
not.
know?
I can't. I made it this far.
Yeah.
Trust me.
One of my
gonna
coaches
be
told
good.
me, they were like, you know, you could be a key because you can bring the diversity to the table. When a player sees a one that looks like them, especially a woman, they're like, whoa, how did she get here? Especially like in the recruiting, on the recruiting aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Like even here they always want me to come to recruit. And I'm not even gonna lie, I like being the guinea pig. I like being the whole bait of like diversity. Listen, y'all using my color for good. I'd rather that than use it for bad. Like, but it's just sad that like, sometimes I don't even have to like use like my brain or anything or like my skill. Like, you're colored. We need you. Let's get it.
Mommy, can I please watch the Real Leel show, please?
Every day, there are news going on in sports and pop culture, and I give my takes on them. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is a brand new episode of the Real Leel Show, college version, episode 21. Live from the WSUC-FM Cortland radio station here in Central New York, brings you another episode, the podcast version of the Real Leel Show. New York City on S Street Media will be starting back up in a few weeks when I touch the city towards the end of the month. And you know that's going to be big. Obviously, the podcast version is a better version of the Real Leel Show, to be honest with you. It's more fun. It's not FCC regulated. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of guests. And, we in the States, we in the city. So you definitely want to be able to watch all these episodes because it's going to be a lot. I'm going to be doing a lot. I'm going to be having a lot of performances. I'm going to be, having guests on. The big three, this summer, free agency. You don't want to miss that. So what you need to do right now, if you want, because next week will be the season finale of the college version of the Real Leel Show, but we go on throughout the whole summer. So what you want to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel at Real Leel TV. Once again, at Real Leel TV, REALLEEL TV. Once again, REALLEEL TV. And I'm going to say it one more time for good luck. REALLEEL TV. Real Leel TV. That's where you're going to get all these videos. And even the videos now here on the college version, obviously it gets uploaded the day after the show. So Tuesday, this episode will be up on my YouTube channel. So it has all the episodes that I had since I started here. And along with In the Huddle episodes. So ladies and gentlemen, we put in that work. We put in the hours, So remember, the request line is 607-753-4819. Once again, 607-753-4819. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get this show on the road. But anyways, sticking on the Giants right here, obviously I just talked about the Daniel Jones disaster. But they also had another unfortunate disaster. NFL rookie Corey Ballentine, was shot just hours after being drafted by the Giants on an off-campus shooting in Kansas. And one of his friends was shot, and unfortunately, the friend that was shot lost his life. And it was also one of his teammates. So, one thing I want to say here is, fellas, and listen, I'm going to just make it straight up here with y'all. I love all people. Black, brown, white, yellow, purple, orange, green, And I don't think they make these people out here yet. But with these technologies, they probably do. You probably have some purple guy running through the street. I don't know. I love all people. I'm all for unity amongst not only my own community, but everybody. I do believe that there is a place in this world for everybody to get along just fine. But for this message, I'm talking to the brothers out here. For this message, do me a favor. You know, if you're in one of these states, and listen, you don't got to be mad at me. Just look at the history. Just look at the history. All right? Just look at the history. So I'm not coming from an opinion base. I'm coming from history. Fellas, brothers, do me a favor. If you go to school in Kansas, which obviously you're going there for education, most likely you're going there to play sports, play football, Kansas Jayhawks. I mean, they have a known program, even though it's not a good program because they haven't done nothing yet as far as success, but it's a known program, right? Kansas State, more successful than Kansas. Bill Snyder. If you're going there for education or you're going there to play football, do me a favor. Stay out of trouble as best as you can. Because obviously, those states are not, obviously, have your best interests at heart as a whole. I'm not talking about everybody there. I'm talking about as a whole. We all know that, there could be racism over there at times. And I'm not saying that this is race-related now. But I'm just saying, there has been a lot of stuff as of late happening in Kansas. And let's not mention history. But as of right now, there have been a lot of stuff happening in Kansas. We just had a guy who wanted to be a sports journalist named Albert Higgins, a 22-year-old boy, I believe, around that age, who was just sentenced 12 years just for kissing a white girl. And you know what the sentence was? It was called rape. I never knew kissing was raping. Yeah, maybe I don't know nothing. Maybe I did all these years for college and I shouldn't be doing it because I don't understand the meaning of that. But he just got sentenced to 12 years for that. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to stay the hell away from trouble, especially if you're rolling through Kansas. Like I said, I know you want your education and you have the right to do so. You have the right to play football. You have the right to chase your dreams. But at the end of the day, if you really want to chase your dreams, you got to stay out of trouble because you need to live to chase your dreams. You can't be out here rolling around and getting into trouble or putting yourself in position to get into trouble because you are destined for greatness. You know what you want to do. You know what you want to accomplish. You know it. It's there. It's there for you. These guys have potential. Now, I don't know how great this brother teammates were. Corey Ballentine. I don't know, his friend, his teammate. I don't know if he would have got drafted to the NFL too. I don't know his potential. He could have played football. He could have became a lawyer. But the brother lost his life. Right? He lost his life. And Corey Ballentine had the luxury of being drafted by the Giants with the 6th pick. Well, not with the 6th pick. My fault. That's totally my fault. But he had the luxury of being drafted. And then an unfortunate situation happened. Him getting shot at an off-campus shooting in Kansas. I don't know. It might have been at a party or whatever. But we got to be careful as brothers, obviously. We can't be out here letting it all loose. We can't be out here letting it all... Listen, it's America, ladies and gentlemen. I don't got to go deep into that. We can't be out here letting it all loose. So, my condolences go out to these people at the same time. I'm not going to chastise somebody for losing their life. I'm not going to chastise somebody for getting shot. The brother got shot. But let this be a message to other people. Not saying they did anything wrong. But let this be a message to other people to be careful. Especially if you got a lot of work to you. And you have something, a plan in your life. Let that be a lesson. Let that be, I got to be careful. I got to stay out of trouble. Y'all ain't getting me. Not today. Not today. So, that's what I want to say, because we all got dreams and we all got the right to chase them, referencing J. Cole in one of his songs. So, that's what I got to say about it. But when we come back from commercial, I got a lot of more stuff to talk about. We have the NBA playoffs. That's and flew a boom. I gotta talk about that. I'm gonna play a song for y'all. We got more draft stuff to talk about from the NFL draft. We got some boxing topics, some pop culture topics, and some boxing topics. I keep on saying Daniel Jones. That's how tired I am right now. Everything coming out my mouth is Daniel. Damn, Daniel. Oh my gosh. But we got Canelo Alvarez versus Danny Jacobs this Saturday. You got my predictions right here. We also got, like I said, pop culture topics. Meek Mill is in some issues again. I'm going to get into that, obviously, and plenty more. You tuning into the Real Leel Show. Don't go nowhere. Stay tuned. Alright, Central New York. This is your boy Real Leel, and we are back on the Real Leel Show. We just dived into a lot of topics so far, well, pretty much. And now it's time to move on to our next topic. We have the Warriors. The Warriors, who beat the Rockets 104-100 last night. But the headline wasn't how good of a game it was. The headline was how poor the officiating was. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie. I want to be fair. And I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be as fair as I possibly can on this topic. Referees' jobs are hard. I know sometimes we can get tired at them and we can get angry and be like, yo, the NBA is fixed. It's corrupted, da-da-da. Once our team don't get certain calls and our players that we like don't get certain calls. But to be all honest with you, referees' jobs are not easy. They're watching the game on the court in live action, having to make a lot of calls. All right? It's not easy being a referee at all, whatsoever. I wouldn't want that job. I wouldn't at all, because it's hard. You got players cussing you out when you miss certain things, and that of sort. However, there are some calls, throughout the whole, entire sports, the sports world. Not only basketball, but in football. There are some calls that are so blatant and obvious, especially with you standing right there, that you need to make, and for whatever reason, you don't make it. For example, I know we heard this 1,000 times, but may I bring up the Saints and the Rams NFC Championship game? When, Stevie Wonder saw that it was a pass interference, that it could have been called 5 to 7 different ways, but there was no call. Now, heading back to basketball, there were a lot of questionable calls. There were a lot of calls that should have been called, but it wasn't. Some of them, could have been either way. Others, it was terrible. The referees admitted at halftime, that they missed 4 missed calls. At halftime. Not the 2-minute report, but at halftime. They said they missed 4 calls in the first half. And that was a 12-point swing for the Rockets. Mind you, it could have been a 12-point swing for the Rockets. Remember the final of this game now. 104-100. Right? So, with that being said, if you miss 4 calls in the first half, my thing is, from my knowledge of basketball, is that you get it right in the second half. Especially if you admitted it, you get it right in the second half. Or sometimes when there's a tough call to make, sometimes you give the opposition the benefit of the doubt because you missed the calls in the previous half or the previous play. That's what normally happens in basketball. But it didn't happen on Sunday. All right? There's a lot of talk from the Rockets side that the referees do favor the Warriors more. Because they're the Warriors, they're the golden team in basketball right now. Obviously, they got the most likable players in basketball outside of KD, who, is not liked a lot because of his move going there by a lot of fans. But Steph Curry, the golden boy, and Klay Thompson, likable dudes, right? Likable fan base of that sort, so on. But, I would say this. Do I believe the referees favor the Warriors more? Possibly. I mean, at the end of the day, we all know when it comes to individual players that individual players in the league get certain calls. That's how it is in all sports. Certain, especially like a quarterback like Tom Brady, he gets favorable, calls. In the NBA, LeBron James gets favorable calls. A lot of players get favorable calls, and sometimes it's a team too. But at the end of the day, it's hard to really chastise the referees because when you look at it, James Harden, his style of play, he kind of does it to himself because this is a guy that prides on drawing contact and getting fouls and going to the line and shooting free throws. That's his offense right there. Not his whole offense, but it is a key part of his offense, and that's what makes him the unstoppable force that he is. So if he's not getting that call, then you're taking away a lot from his game, and you're taking away a lot from that team. So, look, there was a couple plays that should have been called. The one on Klay Thompson, when Klay Thompson was guarding James Harden from the three-point line, didn't give him no room whatsoever to come down. That's when the game gets dangerous. Because you can land funny. You can land on somebody's foot. You can tear your leg up. You can tear your ACL up. Do I need to mention Kawhi Leonard with Zaza Pachulia and how Zaza Pachulia didn't give him room to come down? Kawhi Leonard twisted his ankle and or whatever, or his ACL or whatever, was out for the season, and now his brother's in Toronto. Do I need to bring that up? Do I need to discuss that? You got to call some of them. Because this is a very dangerous situation to be in. When you're going up for a shot, you're coming down, I want some leg room. I want some space. There got to be some type of space. I mean, this is how guys get their leg tore off. So, the referees got to do a better job of calling certain plays. The one on Green, on James Harden, bang, bang, James Harden kind of leaned towards Green to get the call, so I'm fine with that no call. But like I said, there was plenty of no calls that should have been called. Also, when KD, you remember that time the Warriors and the Rockets played the first time, and KD was like 5-10 feet out of bounds, way out of bounds. Could have been a fan sitting in the stands. I mean, he was that blatantly out of bounds, and there was a no call, no whistle. I mean, come on. So yeah, I do agree that the referees do favor the Warriors. Now, instead of the Rockets complaining, obviously, because they still are, they still going at it right now. They just, did an audited Game 7 today, of 2018 when they played in the Western Conference Finals, and found that the referees missed 81 calls that cost the Rockets a title shot. Still, I'm not going to put the blame on the referees for the Rockets losing the title. At the end of the day, they had an opportunity to win the game, and they didn't. CP3 went down with an injury, and that was key too. So what there is to do is now the referees, are on alert now. The league is on alert, and I do believe that, the referees got to do a better job of making the right necessary calls. So the referees is called out. I do believe the Rockets is going to, probably get some calls now. They just got to play their game. They just got to do what they got to do. They can't depend on referees. They got to play their game. You can't be out here flopping, jumping in the air with the ball in their hand, like CP3, you can't do that, At the end of the day, they're not calling it, and they're consistent with not calling it, because they damn sure was consistent with not calling it. There's nothing you can do. Stop being a baby and get some offense some different type of ways. I mean, I know it's hard to change, your style, but at the end of the day, you got to do whatever it is you got to do to win. Because that's what you want to do is win and move on and beat the defending champs, the team that you should have beat last year. Steph Curry had an ugly game, but he made a key shot over Nene, who should have been on the bench. I mean, come on. Nene can't guard Curry. Easy 3-point dagger right there. KD is playing lights out the last couple of days in the playoffs. Started with that 50-point game that he had against the Clippers. I mean, this guy's he's playing good, you know. But still, the Warriors is a little bit hobbled. Klay Thompson is a little bit hobbled, even though he played good yesterday. Curry's not 100%. He didn't play all that good yesterday. He just had the key shot, you know. So this is the opportunity for the Rockets, who had a week off, to actually take advantage of mismatches at times. Because at the end of the day, the Warriors didn't play all that good yesterday. I was not impressed by this Warriors team. Once again, the turnover bug. But at the same time, these are games that you got to win. And you cannot complain about it with the referees. At the end of the day, you got to get what you got to get. And with the referees, from the referees' perspective now, coming at them, you got to make certain calls. You got to protect these players. And you got to call some. And hey, if it looks like James Harden is initiating the contact, then you don't call it. You got to be fair. It got to be a balance in the NBA. Because at the end of the day, these two teams work hard. And it got to be balanced. That's what I got to say about it. But, the Rockets, they want to win game 2. They want to. They don't want to be down 2-0 to the champs. The Clippers made it interesting. The Rockets are a far more better team than the Clippers. And the first game was good. Like I said, it was 104-100. We in for a series, ladies and gentlemen, in the second round. We in for a series. And I'm all for it. Because this is the NBA playoffs. And there's nothing like it. 607-753-4819. Once again, 607-753-4819. When we come back from a very, very short commercial break, I'm going to dive more into the draft a little bit. And we're going to be going on from there. Classic tunes right there. That's Faith Evans. Love Like This. And I love my sports. So we about to get into it with our next topic. It's approximately 8:45. 15 minutes left to go till hour number 2. And it's time to move on. The Warriors, like I said, matter of fact, I already talked about the Warriors. We on to the next. We going back to the NFL draft. The Dolphins acquire Josh Rosen in a trade with Arizona for a second-round selection, which was number 62 overall in this draft that just passed, and a fifth-rounder for the 2020 draft. Now, Josh Rosen is a guy that I honestly can sit here in this radio booth right now and say I really feel sorry for this brother. I really do. Because I really feel like this brother haven't had a break. Like my co-hosts from In the Huddle say, this guy has been getting dogged. All right? Literally. He's been getting dogged. When you think about it, this guy in UCLA never really had stability at the coaching position. Offensive coordinators like this, going out like this, new offensive coordinators. Obviously, he had his injuries over there. This guy really haven't had stability. Now, you get drafted by the Cardinals in the 2018 draft, number 1, with the number 1 pick. Not the number 1 pick, my fault. With the number 15 pick or something around there. It was one of those picks in the mid-teens, right? You get drafted by the Cardinals. Terrible offensive line. Once again, the head coach's stability, the coach's stability. Steve Wilkins was only there for a year. Didn't even get to unpack his bags. Already got shown the door. I mean, my gosh. Offensive line on terrible. The offensive line probably couldn't even block me. And I'm as skinny as a pencil. And they probably couldn't even block me. That's how terrible their offensive line was in Arizona. And you mean to tell me a rookie quarterback is going to come over there and be the savior when he is a rookie and his guys coming for him every single play and he still has to develop? Unfortunate. Now they clean house in Arizona. They brought in Cliff Kingsbury. And it was obviously the no-brainer to draft Kyler Murray because when you bring a new offensive coordinator and you're cleaning house, you got to ask the coach, the new head coach, what do you like and who do you like and who do you want? And obviously, the brother fell in love with Kyler Murray because Kyler Murray fits his system perfectly. So now, Josh Rosen is left the odd man out. Don't forget about me, y'all. I'm still here. This guy is the odd man out, and they draft Kyler Murray with the first pick in this year's draft, which we all knew was going to happen. It would have been shocking if they didn't. So now, you know, the Dolphins, who was in talks throughout the whole draft on acquiring the Cardinals quarterback, Josh Rosen, the former now quarterback, you know, and the Cardinals wanted the first pick for him. But obviously, you're not going to give up a first pick for Rosen. No, that's too much of an asset to give. The most you will go with second round, and that's what they did. So I commend the Dolphins for holding out and not folding like a tent. You know, not, all right, we'll give you the first round pick. No, they stayed course, and they got him for a low risk, high reward. You know, they only gave up the 64th all-around pick. Now they got their quarterback. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill is not there. So now they got their quarterback. And, you know, like I said, financially, it wasn't a burden. I like the risk. It's not really a high risk. It's low risk, high reward. So, at the end of the day, you got yourself a nice, valuable quarterback. I do believe Jim Caldwell is one of the assistant coaches. Obviously, we all know with him and Peyton Manning, you know, him and Matthew Stafford. So he knows how to work with offensive quarterbacks. The problem here is, right, and Brian Flores is a good coach. You know, he was raised in a good culture in New England, and he's from Brooklyn. Shout out to my brother, Brian Flores. And he's from the projects. So, you know, I'm always happy when guys from the ground zero, you know, end up getting far in life. I'm very happy. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to my guy, Brian Flores. But now, it's crazy to say this, but Josh Rosen, a guy that has been getting dogged for his whole career, I don't know if he, for his sake, for the Dolphins' sake, like I said, it's a good move. But for Josh Rosen's sake, he's probably going to be in the same position that he was on Arizona. Listen to me. Hear me out. Now he's on the Dolphins. The Dolphins have absolutely no offensive weapons. Remember, Jarvis Landry's not there no more. Offensive line, terrible as the Cardinals is. Terrible offensive line. Same position he was on the Cardinals. The Dolphins probably going to lose a lot of games this year. I mean, hell, they in the division with New England twice a year. So, don't forget that Talua from Alabama is going to be in the draft next year. So now, the Dolphins could do the same thing. Get rid of Rosen, who wasn't that expensive, and get Tua to lead their franchise. So, this guy, Josh Rosen, might literally be in the same position that he was in Arizona, and it's very unfortunate. I had a friend, right? I have a friend that, you know, the person's favorite line is, it's unfortunate. You know, that's just what it is. You know, oh, I had a bad day. It's unfortunate. Oh, I fell down a flight of steps today. It's unfortunate. Oh, you know, my leg. I tore my leg up. It's unfortunate. Donald Trump is our president. Probably might win in re-election. It's unfortunate. I mean, I know a person that is just like that. It's unfortunate. And with this, you know, Josh Rosen situation, it's unfortunate. It is. Because his brother may well be in the same predicament that he was in Arizona. But I'm rooting for the guy. I do believe he deserves a shot. He has a chance to be the starter. He will be the starter, in my opinion. No doubt about that. It's just a matter of, is he going to be put in the best predicament for him to succeed as an NFL quarterback? I liked what he did. I liked the video that he dropped for Kyler Murray, showing a lot of class, you know, being very friendly, letting him know that there's a place that he know of for rent that's at, you know, so amount of money. Very good class. Showed up to Larry Fitzgerald camp, you know, that he has. Didn't have to because he's not part of the team. But I see that an improving Josh Rosen as a person. A guy who was talked about of having a bad attitude. I don't see that Josh Rosen anymore. I see a more humble Josh Rosen, and I'm liking where it's going as him as a character, as a human being. Now, we just got to get this brother in the right predicament, in the right situation for him to succeed, and it'll be all she wrote. And it will be fortunate, not unfortunate. That's what I got to say, to be honest with you, about this. But with this, with Josh Rosen going there, it brings me to the AFC East. There's a lot of young quarterbacks in the AFC East right now. I mean, you think about it. Outside of Tom Brady, you do have Josh Rosen, Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills, Sam Darnold in the New York Jets, all quarterbacks that were taken in last year's draft. Young quarterbacks with young teams. I believe, personally, that the AFC East has improved in general. Now, do I think anybody in that division is worthy of challenging New England, who just had the best draft of this 2019? And I'm going to get into that in a few minutes. No. But at least it could be more competitive. I do see a team or two, more than likely the Jets, probably snagging the game at home, but other than that, they improving it, and at the end of the day, that's all they can do is improve. Sometimes you're not going to be able to make that automatic jump like the Browns possibly will be making, from going 0-16 to being 8-8 to possibly making the playoffs. But with New England, yes, I said it. They had the best draft for 2019. They did, in my opinion. They did. Once again, how I started off this show was saying how they was able to flex a disaster trade with Jimmy Garoppolo to the 49ers for nothing, and they was able to flex it, and whatever they got back, they flexed it, they diced it, and they got what they had. Just like how Nike do. When Nike has a moment where, they mess up, bad marketing, Zion Williamson and his shoe that came off, what they do? They flex it, and they turn it into something that they could benefit from. That's what New England did with Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, this is what they did. They used that trade to get huge assets and pickups in this draft. The Patriots drafted wide receiver N'Keal Harry from Arizona State, a pick that I love. Yes, DJ Metcalf was a talk of the country, but at the same time, you saw he fell in the draft. And the reason why I believe that he fell in the draft into the second round was because of that injury. Sometimes when you get injured, it's unfortunate. You fall. You fall down in the draft boards. That's what happened. You take a safer option in N'Keal Harry, who I believe has a strong work ethic, who I believe could fit well in that Patriots offense. I love it. I love it. They also got quarterback Jaquan Williams from Vanderbilt. This is another pick that I love. This guy can run, he can cover, he can hit. All you need, the whole package. All right? If he was Amazon, he would be Amazon Prime. The whole package that this brother, Jaquan Williams, bring out of Vanderbilt. Love that move. Running back, Damian Harris. Matter of fact, before I go to Damian Harris, not to forget that they still got Stephon Gilmore, who I believe proved to me that he's the best cornerback in the league right now on the other side. The Mr. Reliable himself, Stephon Gilmore. There's no issues on Stephon Gilmore's side of the ball to worry about. He always got it on lock. So now you got a guy out of Vanderbilt that can go alongside Stephon Gilmore. Oh my gosh. Now we go to running back Damian Harris from Alabama to, a powerful running back to go along with Sony Michel. Two running backs to help out Sony Michel. That was a need because, Sony Michel had that injury. And they had to use Cordell Patterson in the backfield, a guy that's a wide receiver. So they needed to fill that void. They did. Offensive lineman, protect Brady. Remember, this guy's 40-something years old. Needs to be protected. And then you draft his successor, quarterback out of Auburn, Jarrett Stidham. By far, the best draft went to New England. The key positions that they needed, they got. The only thing they didn't get was the tight end. And obviously, you had the three tight ends, T.J. Hockenson, Noah Fant, and Irvin Smith Jr. But obviously, the two big tight ends, Nicholson and Fant, went already. To the Lions, and So the other key positions that they needed, they got. So this is what I'm saying. You make a terrible trade last year and you flex it. You make a mistake in life, you flex it. There's some mistakes I made in my life. I ain't gonna go too deep into my life story. You know, I'm not gonna go too deep into my life story. But there is mistakes that I made in my life where I flexed it and boom, turned it into something that actually benefited me and made me go on to the next level. That made me improve as a human being and as my career goes. That's what you gotta do, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you're not Mr. Perfect. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna do something that, wow, I shouldn't have done that. I am stupid. But you gotta know how to flex it, turn it around, and make it into your benefit. That's exactly what the Patriots and Bill Belichick did in this draft, and that's exactly why I believe that they won the draft in 2019, ladies and gentlemen. But without further ado, we have approached halftime. I'm going to play another song, and then we going to go for hour number 2, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Real Leel Show. Don't go nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. We are just getting started. So much topics to discuss. I mean, in the world of sports and pop culture, there's always going to be topic discussed. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. All right, that was a very, very short commercial break because we know, time is creeping up on people right now. So, we got to get this show on the road because I got some places to go. The game is on right now, and I honestly got to watch it. The 76ers right now is playing Toronto. But without further ado, it's time for hour number 2 of the Real Leel Show. I'm just streaming live on Instagram right now, giving these people on Instagram a little peek at the show. So when the full video drops, they can be able to want to watch the rest. But anyway, the request line is 607-753-4819. Once again, 607-753-4819. Call me up. Let me know how you feel. Let me know. I just want to know. Any sports topics, just let me know. What's going on in your personal life? If you're having a bad day, all right? You had a bad day. Whatever it is you're going through, ladies and gentlemen, call me up. If I got to be a therapist for today, I'll be the daggone therapist. Call me Dr. Leel. Or should I say Dr. Real Leel. But without further ado, boxing fans, it's time to get into some boxing. The bell has rung. Canelo Alvarez will be facing Daniel Jacobs this Saturday at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, one of the homes of the boxing meccas, the Las Vegas, T-Mobile, obviously the MGM Grand, we all know. But in my opinion, looking into this fight, Canelo versus Daniel Jacobs, this is a 50-50 fight, in my honest opinion. You go around the league, you go around, boxing aficionados, and they'll tell you this is a 50-50 fight, even though the majority of people has Canelo winning this fight. It don't seem all that 50-50 based on, people's picks. But it really is a 50-50 fight. I would say Canelo is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. We all know that, he's on a roll right now. He beat Triple G. I watched that fight. I thought he won. I thought it was close. It was, could have been a draw. But if I had to give it to somebody, it would have been Canelo because he was as aggressive as he needed to be. So he's on a roll right now. He's at the top of boxing right now. Him, Lomachenko, as far as pound for pound, Terrence Crawford, all these other guys. Spence, they up there. But Canelo, right now, he's a golden boy. He is the golden boy. He is the most powerful puncher out the two between him and Jacobs. Now, don't get me wrong. Jacobs is my guy. This guy is from Brownsville, Brooklyn, ladies and gentlemen. I'm from Brooklyn, East New York. All right? Not too far from Brownsville, So, that's my guy. At the end of the day, this guy has been through it all. This guy has fought bone cancer. He knows how to fight. Not only physically, but mentally, with his heart, with his spirit. This guy, Daniel Jacobs, is the real deal, and that's why I'm pulling for this brother. And he does have advantages in his fight. He's the taller fighter. He throws plenty of combinations, has the big size advantage. Now, Canelo has the power advantage. So that's why I like this fight, because you don't know. You don't know. My brother out here, this is my guy on the live, my old roommate, Dog Pound Forever, Quasim Butcher, that's my guy, you on the live. But, like I said, you don't know. Styles make fights, and I just love this fight. Now, I want to see Canelo, because he likes to fight on the inside. He's a Mexican fighter. So they like to fight on the inside. But Jacobs, he likes to move around. That's why this fight is just so complicated to pick, because it's just like, damn. It's almost like you're dealing with fried chicken. I mean, I'm starving. You know what I'm saying? I love me some fried chicken. So some people, they like to fry their chicken too hard, too crispy. Some people like to leave it white or whatever for whatever reason. I like my fried chicken brown. So it's like, yeah, how do you like your chicken? To be honest with you, with this fight. In that first fight with Daniel Jacobs and Triple G, in my opinion, Daniel Jacobs won that fight. It was an excellent fight, but I thought Daniel Jacobs won. Canelo, in the first fight against Triple G, he lost that fight. The referees, to me, the judges, we all know the politics of the game. He lost that fight. I didn't think it was a draw. The second fight, Canelo looked way much better, way more polished, way more aggressive, and he looked like he wasn't scared of Triple G. He looked like he wasn't scared at all. And that Canelo that I saw in that last fight against Triple G is a scary Canelo that nobody want to see. But like I said, Jacob, he has heart. Like I said, he'll be willing to put it all out there, because he's been through it all. He will put it all out there. And I commend Canelo Alvarez for taking this fight, because a lot of guys, when they just have a fight of a magnitude of how him and Triple G had a fight, they like, okay, you know what? I don't got to fight nobody. I got the belt. I can make a lot of money, low risk, high reward, and then it's all she wrote. I could cherry pick, like a cherry picker. Pick. I could cherry pick all over the daggone yard and do things how I want to. There's a lot of cherry pickers in boxing, ladies and gentlemen. And there's a lot. And I can name names, but I'm trying to be a saint today. I'm not going to name names. But normally on the Real Leel Show, it's the Real Leel Show. These guys will be on the hot seat. But there's a lot of cherry pickers in boxing. Canelo Alvarez is not one of them. He has that Mexican pride. He fights for his country. He fights for himself. He fights for the belt. He fights whoever he needs to fight. And that's why I respect Canelo, because this is a dangerous fight that he did not have to take. So, like I said, styles make fights. I'm very interested in this fight. I believe if you're a boxing fan, this is a must watch. I want to know y'all opinions. I want to know, because, like I said, a lot of people's rolling with Canelo. And I can see why, in a way. A lot of people's rolling with Canelo. A lot of people sleeping on Daniel Jacobs. Ladies and gentlemen, do not sleep on Daniel Jacobs. My dad, actually, he picked Daniel Jacobs to win this fight. But he was like himself, it's going to be a close one. So I want to know what y'all think. First of all, before I make my prediction. Remember, the request line is 607-753-4819. Once again, 607-753-4819. So, honestly, if the judges don't come into play, because we also got to watch the judges. Sometimes you're watching a fight, and then at the end of it, when the judges are deliberating, it's almost like you're watching a different fight, because they saw a different fight. A lot of the times, they show us that they saw a different fight, and they wasn't watching the same fight that the average head was watching, because they always come up with outlandish things. It is the politics of boxing. That's one thing that I hate. That's one thing I believe that is bringing the sport itself down as it is the politics of it. They need to cut it out. So hopefully, with no money being stashed and handed over the rug, no people being on the payroll, then we should be in for an Armageddon war in that ring. And this fight, to me, can easily be a split. It can easily be a split. Had this fight happen probably a year or two ago, I probably feel more comfortable with picking the person who I'm not going to pick right now. But like I said, fighters have improved over the last course of fighting, and I'm I'm leaning more towards Canelo Alvarez to win this fight. To be honest with you, I think I'm gonna roll with Canelo. You know, I want to roll for my guy from Brooklyn, man. I really do. I want to roll with him. I want to roll with him. He's from the hood, man. He's from the hood. Trust me. I want to roll with the brothers. But, honestly, I think Canelo will win by a split decision. I'm going Canelo in a split decision. Because I do believe, like I said, he's a more powerful puncher. Yes, Daniel Jacobs got the size. But I believe that, you know, we're going to see that aggressive Canelo like how we saw with Triple G. I believe he will be aggressive, and, you know, he will hurt Jacobs a little bit, but Jacobs is going to hold his own. He's going to present some issues for Canelo with that size and being able to be swift and move around and do a variety and combination of punches. I do believe it's going to be a tough fight for Canelo. I do believe it. But I do believe once Canelo kind of figured him out later on in the fight, that Canelo, his power is going to be a little bit too much and will give him the lead in a lot of the rounds. But I do believe it's going to be close. But I got Canelo Alvarez in a split decision. But trust me, it won't shock me. I'm not betting on this fight. So I would be happy if Daniel Jacobs win and prove me wrong. Because I'm not betting money on this fight. This fight is too close for me to call. And I damn sure I'm not over here J.D. Rockefeller. So I damn sure don't want to be losing no money on no 50-50 fight. You must be wildin'. Because, trust me, it just is what it is. But, staying on boxing here for a little bit. Obviously, we have this situation with Jarrell Miller. You know, he was supposed to fight Anthony Joshua June 1st at MSG, but obviously it didn't happen. Why? Because the brother failed 3 drug tests. Oh my God. You know, one thing I hate, let me tell you one thing I hate. And I hate a lot of things. I got a lot of pet peeves. I do. But like I said, I'm not going to make this show all about me. All right? I'm trying to give y'all what y'all want. But one of my pet peeves are when brothers, right? And I'm strictly saying brothers because we all know how it is in the world. Not all of us have equal opportunities. Not all of us. We could be oblivious all we want to. But when we brothers get in a position where financially we can make money, set up our families, set up ourselves, set up our children for good, for success, and just be able to live. Because other people that look like us, obviously, are not going to be able to do the same thing. Why? Because that is what's going on, and that's what's been going on. But when you can make $6 million, right, to fight Anthony Joshua, number one, at MSG, a big purse bid for you, your biggest purse bid of your career, set for life. You $6 million, I mean, unless you over here flashing it at strippers like Mayweather be doing, you would have been set for life. When you decide to cheat the game, get caught, and then lose that purse bid, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I want to say, but we on FCC airwaves, and I'm not trying to get fined. But how much of a dummy can you be? How much of a dummy can you be? Do you know what people would do for do you know what people would do for just $1,000? I'm not even going to $1 million right now. Just for $1,000. Do you know what people would do for $1,000? And it's not good things either. It's terrible things. People do terrible things for money. For just as little as $1,000, $2,000. But you, just playing a sport for 12 rounds, could have made $6 million. And I'm tight. And another reason why I'm even more tight is from this guy's it's from Brooklyn to my home. See? Shout out to Brooklyn. From the slums. From the slums. Had a chance. And I know this guy on top of that. Well, not personally, but I have ties that know him. My brother, he went to elementary school with this guy. So I had ties. I was supposed to get him on the podcast version on an interview before the fight. So that's even make me even more mad. When you have a chance to make $6 million to fight Anthony Joshua, all right, to let your name be more even known, right? Because ain't nobody know who you really was like that. I'm talking about like other boxing fans. This could have been your big payday. This could have been your chance to, even if you lost the fight, to be set for life and actually be a known commodity and be able to take on other fights. But you want to cheat. This says a lot about how he feels about himself as a boxer. Because trust me, if I knew there's somebody I could beat, I'm not going to be taking no PEDs. I'm not going to be taking no PEDs at all. Because I believe I can fight this guy. Now, the talk could be, well, you know, a lot of boxers do it, so I might as well do it because I don't want him to do it. What are you, in high school? Come on. I'm just so upset right now that this guy can be so foolish. And on top of that, you didn't get busted for 1, but you got busted for 3. What was you trying to do in that ring? Now, the question is, what's the punishment? And he looks like he's getting off the hook. Because there more than likely won't be no lifetime ban because he doesn't have a license to fight in New York anyway. So he might be getting off the hook. But if he was to get a lifetime ban from the sport, even though I would advocate for it, if they were to do it, I wouldn't vouch for him. I'm not going to vouch for somebody that took 3 substances and putting somebody's life in danger in the ring. I don't care how I know you, or who you related to, or who ties that you have to me. You do the crime, you pay the daggone time. That's just what it is. So if they was to come with a lifetime ban, I couldn't even say nothing about it. I just gotta be like, well, you know, you should have had done it. And now it's going to discourage other boxers from taking part in wanting to fight him. If I know a guy, and I'm a boxer, that got busted for taking all sorts of substances, I'm not going to want to do business with him. I'm just not. I'm not going to do business with this cat, with this clown. He ain't going to put my life in danger. My life is already in danger. I'm boxing for 12 rounds against heavyweights. Powerful punches, more powerful punches than middleweights and lightweights and whatever weight, flyweight. I mean, come on. This really gets me tight. Now, another thing here is, I'm going to play a clip from Premier Boxing, when they was discussing this situation for people listening to the call. I don't know if people in the live going to be able to hear it, but if they can hear it, yo, Kenny C, my son Kenny C out here, my people out here, Kenny C from In the Huddle, check that out. I'm going to play a clip from this Premier Boxing, and if you can hear it on the live, I'm glad you can hear it. If you can't, my fault, but people in the car, y'all could be able to hear it right now about this situation with Jarrell Miller getting busted for taking 3 substances before his Anthony Joshua fight.
I'm sitting next to the nicest, the smoothest, and the coolest boxers in the world, Mr. Mikey Garcia, Caleb Plant, and Leo Santa Cruz. Via satellite, we got Deontay Wilder, and right now we're about to get into a segment called Champions Only. So right now, fellas, we're going to talk about money and top-notch opponents. Mikey, what do you think? You think what's the decision you make?
It was good. It was good.
Top-notch opponent, or do you go for the money?
Look, it changes. For me, in this stage of my career, I'm going.
Family. How disgraceful are you when it comes to your family? Knowing that your daughters or children could be set financially. That you can be able to put them through school. That you can be able to take care of your family. I mean, my gosh. If I had an opportunity to fight AJ, where I stand right now, listen, I might not live to see 12 rounds, but guess what? I'll do it for my family, because my family will be set. This guy's a clown. Let me finish playing the clip.
For his family and everything, and then you're gonna think better of him, you know. I don't know what you take because if you know they're gonna come out sooner or later, they're gonna. So I don't know. If me, I have never done nothing like that or no drugs, nothing.
You're in the random drug testing program.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we don't have a problem with that. I think I don't really understand it. I'm hearing it should be an indefinite suspension. What do you
Look,
think?
I've never obviously dealt with anything like that, so I don't know if there are any benefits to taking it. Apparently,
That's the exact same thing.
Sometimes there could be benefits, maybe sometimes it doesn't help you. I just feel that we are professional fighters, professional boxers.
who know the risk of getting in the ring.
Yeah.
And if I consciously take something that can improve my performance to hurt my opponent more, I mean, that's a serious threat. That's something real serious that shouldn't be, just ignored. It's not to be played with, exactly. Punishments, I mean, yeah, you have to obviously, suspend the fighter. I don't know about indefinite, but I mean, there should be some hard, consequence for that.
What about champions? I think should it be worse for a champion if a champion were to get caught, doing something, or is it the same consequence for everyone?
I think for one, the kind of backtracking slightly to something earlier. I feel like for one, it's a lack of confidence in yourself and in your skills. And if you're at the top of the sport, yes, he claims to be, he's a man who can do this, he can do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But then you do something that's you trying to, up your abilities. Why don't you do your abilities in the first place? Secondly, I don't know about indefinitely because that's strong. That's big. I'm not
when you look, this man wanted popularity, he wanted fame. It just came in the worst ways for him, and I don't feel sorry for him, none at all. And then what made him look so bad is he want to accuse the other opponent for doing something like that. Here he comes doing it. But like I said, I know a lot of guys that does it. This is not the first one. And guess what? When this drug came out and got banned, guess what? Another drug just came out. So they just don't have the technology to detect it right now, but they will. It keeps coming out. These guys keep doing it, man. It's gonna be a real cycle. Only way it's gonna stop is if somebody really put an end to it.
And that brings.
And I totally agree with Deontay Wilder, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, you can see he's more passionate about this situation than the other guys at the panel. And because he plays in the hardest division in boxing, the world heavyweight division, where it's more dangerous, where you getting caught with these substances. I mean, you trying to kill somebody? I mean, what are you trying to do? That's why I'm so tight at Jarrell Miller. I really am. And if they would have banned this clown for life, I would not be tight at all. I would not be tight at all. Because at the end of the day, you are a fool. I mean, come on. Give me the $6 million. Please. My gosh. But anyway, moving on real quick before we get into some pop culture topics. I got to talk about this Meek Mill situation. Because, my gosh. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I can go on and on and on. But real quick, I want to touch on Anthony Joshua just for a couple seconds right here. He agreed to fight Andy Ruiz June 1st at MSG in place of Jarrell Miller. Hopefully Andy Ruiz don't get caught with no substances either. I mean, damn. So, Ruiz is 32-1, 23 KOs. He already had a disadvantage because the guy eating them hamburgers, I mean, this guy's like almost 300 pounds. He's late with the training camp now because he just got notified that he will be fighting. So, guess what? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Jarrell Miller literally gave Anthony Joshua an outlet to fight a not known name clown. Because now we can't get mad at AJ because the fight is in a month. So we can't be like, why are you fighting these clowns? You're the best in the world. We can't say nothing no more because this brother is giving an outlet based on somebody taking PEDs or whatever. I mean, this is annoying, ladies. As a boxing fan, you want to see this guy fighting the best. But obviously we can't get that. I would have loved to see Ortiz take that fight. But once again, these dudes think they prima donnas, Eddie Hearn, giving these guys low ball offers. I mean, come on. Y'all need to stop that. I'm tired of messing with these clowns. I'm pretty sure that's why Wilder don't want to deal with these clowns. Because they got these clowns and they all that. And they not all that. But anyway, moving on. So, Meek Mill, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to go on a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we got to discuss this Meek Mill situation. Because, once you think one situation is over in America, it just shows you another situation has already arrived. We'll be back on the Real Leel Show after these very short messages. All right, Central New York, we are back on the Real Leel Show, and it's time for me to get into the next topic that we have here on the agenda. Now, Meek Mill, he's going through some stuff again, Like I said, when you think something is over, it always seems to come back. Because guess what? That's just the world we live in. But anyway, the famous judge that we know of, that has been trying to ruin Meek Mill's life for the longest amount of times, previously. I believe her name is Janice Brinkley. She's now preventing Meek Mill from following the 76ers to Toronto. As you all know, the 76ers and Toronto Raptors are in the series right now in the NBA playoffs. And normally you have famous celebrities such as Drake who follows, their team around, whether it's at home or away. Obviously, Drake being from the 6, Canada, he follows the Raptors. And Meek Mill being from Philly, he follows the 76ers, and he also comes to the game. I believe, matter of fact, the first day that he got released from prison, he went straight to the 76ers game, and he did that little bell ceremony that they do before games. So, obviously, Meek Mill wanted to go and travel with the 76ers to be there to support them in this game tonight and in other games the longer the series goes. I mean, he should be able to have the right to do that. I mean, we all know this judge, Janice Brinkley, right? We all know this judge has a personal agenda to Meek Mill. All right? She has a personal agenda to ruin this brother's life. We already know about the situations with his, probation and how he was doing time that he shouldn't have done, and it caused, people to march and all the protests and stuff like that, and he was able to, at least get out for now. But now this woman is back at it again, doing what she knows best, and that's to ruin this brother's life. Listen, people like her, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, and I ain't sugarcoating anything, all right? The only thing y'all ain't gonna catch me doing is up here saying a lot of bad words, because at the end of the day, like I said, we on FCC airwaves, right? But I'm gonna say what's on my mind. People like her don't need to be a judge at all. People like this girl right here need to be working at a warehouse, need to be working at McDonald's, need to be working somewhere where, she don't have power to have any influence over anybody's life, whether it be black, yellow, orange, purple, whatever. This woman being there at that position is unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I mean, people, listen. First of all, let me say what the 76ers owner had to say. Let me see if I have the Instagram post. The 76ers owner had a lot to say. He aired out this judge, and this is what he said. Damn, I can't remember. Wow, this is small writing. I mean, I know I can see, but damn, all right, I'm gonna do my best. Let me see. I didn't know it was gonna come out this small. My fault, but I'm gonna do my best. Here we go. Judge Janice Brinkley, I know you have a vetted against Meek Mill and are obsessed with trying to control every aspect of his life, but you did not really approve him to go represent the Sixers in Toronto for the game. As soon as the schedule came out, Meek asked probation for approval. They immediately approved. For everyone who doesn't understand, Meek Mill must still get the judge's approval personally every time he leaves PA, since he's still on probation 12 years later for a crime he didn't commit. We filled your court as soon as the schedule came out, since you need to approve travel to Canada. Since you didn't respond to numerous phone calls and emails, we even sent a lawyer to the courthouse today. And most importantly, if this happens to Meek, what do you think happens to the average person who can't afford to get lawyers and is on probation? Well said, my brother. Power to the daggone people. I'm tired of this nonsense, I'm tired of it. I mean, this girl's acting like a real FCC airwaves. I'm going to just say that, Because, listen, it's annoying. All right? It's annoying. And I totally understand. I totally feel Meek Mill's pain. At the end of the day, money, it don't change everything now. Just because you rap and have money don't change everything. You still have to end up going through the same things we got to go through as a human being and as being black in America. The only difference is you have money and you're allowed to be able to maneuver through this little cycle going on. So, you know, at the same time, it's not easy. It's not easy, especially with people like this girl. And the crazy part about it, this girl's the same daggone race. And that's what makes it even more eye-popping. This girl's the same race. Wow. Listen. I'm going to say this with closing. Meek Mill should be allowed to attend this game if he so please. At the end of the day, when you go into a basketball game, you're not hurting nobody. You out there representing your team, rooting for who you want to root for, you know, being a loyal model citizen. Obviously, I don't understand why he cannot attend this game. Why you deny his approval? I don't understand why. He is not hurting anybody at the game. He's not going to do nothing that will violate his probation at the game. All he's doing is representing the 76ers franchise. That's all he's doing. If Drake can go and represent the Toronto Raptors, if Jack Nicholson can go to the Lakers and represent the Lakers through the regular season. All right? If Spike Lee can represent the Knicks at MSG Garden. If who else? All these players and celebrities that go to these games, if they can sit there and represent their franchise or whoever it is they want to represent, whether it be an individual, whether it be a team, Meek Mill should be able to do it, all right? And he shouldn't need approval from a daggone judge who has a personal agenda to, like, ruin his life. So let me guess. He needs permission to go to the daggone bathroom too? Let me guess. He needs permission to go to the daggone bathroom too. He needs an approval from this judge that I need to go to the bathroom, so I need approval. I mean, this is some nonsense, to be honest with you. And if we was on a podcast version, you would have heard even more from me. Because obviously, it's not regulated. It's not, you know, any things I can't say on it. So you would have heard even more of me. I wish this topic came out. I mean, I wish this didn't even happen at all. But if now that it did, I wish I was back home on a podcast version right now. Because you know I would have had that person hear it. But I got to try to maintain myself right now. But it's stuff like this that really gets to me. It really do. This guy is out here, right? Just because your life is miserable. And this goes to anybody. Just because your life is miserable don't mean you have to ruin somebody else's life. Take your miserable life and do something with it. What I said about what the Patriots did and what I do in my life. If I have something that went wrong, if I made a bad choice, if I made a bad decision, what I do? I flip it like it's Nike. I flip it and I turn it into something that can benefit my life as a human being and can benefit my career. That's what I've been saying this whole show. This should be the flipping episode. Because I'm about to flip and lose my mind talking about this girl too, on top of that. Honestly. If you have a miserable life, flip it and turn it into a life where it's not so miserable as best as you can. I mean, this guy Meek Mill is out here being a voice for prison reform. He didn't just get out that little situation. It was like, all right, I'm out. Let me shut up. Let me go about my business. No, this guy's actually at meetings. I watch this guy sometimes on Instagram. He's at these meetings on the streets. He's actually putting his hand in prison reform. He's talking about the situation. He's on radio shows talking about the situation. This guy is trying to be a model citizen as best as he can. As best as he can. Not everybody's perfect. I'm pretty sure you ain't perfect either. Obviously, it shows. Not everybody is perfect. So this guy's out here being basically a black leader. If you want to be really, truthful. Right? So you denying this guy a right to go to the game because you have a personal agenda as a judge? When this guy's out here being a leader. When this guy's actually out here doing something for the good of others. I mean, when there's a black boy, right? And it seems like this go on and on and on every week. So I'm talking about a lot. But when there's a black boy that gets shot in the streets by a cop, right? Or wherever it is. I know, I see it when it's posted and it's trending Who tagged Meek Mill? Everybody tagged Meek Mill. Why? Because they want him to say something. They know that, he's out here being a voice. So you going to stop this man from going and sitting down and watching a daggone game and representing his team because you have a personal agenda to ruin his life because your life is so miserable? I mean, come on. Come on. And listen, this is the same type of person that, let's take, Mr. Uncle Tom himself, Christopher Yarden, who's representing Nipsey Hussle's killer. Eric Holder, that's his name, right? Christopher Yarden is a lawyer. Eric Holder is a killer that murdered Nipsey Hussle, one of our leaders, right? Take him, for example. He's Uncle Tom himself. That's another example of people just hating who the hell they are. Basically. I'm tired of these type of people, honestly, because they look dumb. And if I had any family ties to them people, I would break off. I don't know this guy. I don't know this judge. I don't know them at all. The self-hatred is getting out of control, and I'm sick of it. To be real with you. I am. I'm sick of it. But that's my thoughts on this Meek Mill situation. Now, speaking of the game that's currently going on right now, the Raptors at the 76ers. Oh, the 76ers at the Raptors. I'm going to give you a live look into this game in a second as I pull up the scores for this game. But the request line is 607-753-4819. Once again, 607-753-4819. Let me know how you feel. Let me know how you keep it real. And we're going to get right into it. Right now, the 76ers, surprisingly, is up by 3 in quarter number 3 with 2 minutes left to go in the game. This is a very important game for the 76ers. And if they can steal this game right now, that'll do well for them in the series. Because, you don't want to be 0-2, but the Raptors are a pretty good team. Kawhi Leonard, the other day on Saturday, went off. He put up 45 points, 11 rebounds in game 1. And it showed that this is what it tells me, that this guy is a difference maker for the Raptors. He's a difference for the Raptors this year. This guy is showing you his value offensively, defensively. Exactly why he is a top 3 player in this league. He doesn't do all the flashiest things. He's not the tallest guy on the court. He's not LeBron James, the biggest built guy on the court. He's not KD, the length and the cerebral assassin. But he brings value on defensively and offensively. He does the game right. Like, he knows what he's doing. He put up 45 points in this game. He put out an offensive display. And guess what? He still gets back on defense, and he still knows how to lock down your number 1 defender. Ben Simmons has a lot of work to do now, especially if Kawhi Leonard is going to be guarding him. Because we all know Ben Simmons can go cold, especially in some games with meaning, like in the playoffs, like how he did last year. So Kawhi Leonard is guarding this guy. Well, good luck. I picked the Raptors to win the series in 5 initially. But if the 76ers do hold up and win this game, then, it might put a dent into my prediction. But right now, like I said, 76ers is up by 3. Joel Embiid, 6 points. Slow offensive game so far. Jimmy Butler is having himself a game. I figured that. Jimmy Butler always shows up in the playoffs. That's one guy that I can't count on this Raptors team to show up in these big moments because he just had that it factor. He has that clutch factor. He has that gene in the playoffs that he shows up. 15 points right now, 8 rebounds, almost a double-double. Greg Monroe, decent game, 10 points, okay. So, Ben Simmons, 4 points. Yeah, he's getting shut down by Kawhi. But at least Jimmy Butler is keeping that team into the game. Because, like I said, the Raptors are a very good team. So if they can steal one on the road, then guess what? That would be good for the Toronto Raptors, to be honest with you. All right. Ice Cube, moving on to the next topic really quick, as we have 10 minutes left to go in this program, announces the Big Three League secured a television deal with CBS Sports Network rather. So congrats to my guy Ice Cube. You all know, if y'all haven't noticed already, if y'all haven't got into the Big Three, that is a basketball league that normally happens at the end of the NBA season. And trust me, it's worth it. I started watching the Big Three a lot more last year, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. It's a definitely, if you haven't watched it yet, it's a league that you definitely want to tune into. I mean, you have all these retired guys that played in the NBA, and they play on this day. I mean, on the league, and it's, like I said, it's definitely fun to watch. It's very interesting, and it keeps you, as a basketball fan, having something to watch for basketball. So definitely tune into that. The Big Three draft will be aired on CBS on Wednesday at 10 p.m. So you definitely want to tune into that. And like I said, I am a big fan of the Big Three. I definitely will be covering some of the action on my podcast version of the Real Leel Show, which will start soon. The podcast version, like I said, in order to hear it, you gotta subscribe to my YouTube channel at Real Leel TV. Once again, REAL LEEL TV. Once again, REAL LEEL TV. Real Leel TV. I'll be covering some of this action along with other sports and other pop culture and topics and stuff like that. So there's gonna be lots of new players joining this Big Three this year, including Gilbert Arenas, who averaged 20.7 points per game in his career. Joe Johnson, former player of the Atlanta Hawks, 16 points per game in his career. Josh Smith, also a former player of the Atlanta Hawks, 14.5 points per game. And I know I just mentioned Joe Johnson. He also played for the Nets and a couple other teams, the Jazz. So it's not only the Atlanta Hawks he played for. But Jason Terry, 13.4 points per game. Lamar Odom. This is the big commodity here too. 13.3 points per game. So it's nice to see Lamar Odom, a guy that has had his fair share of troubles in his past. It's nice to see him being able to be part of this league in hopes of getting his life together. But one thing I would say, my brother, if you want to get your life together, stop messing with these Kardashians, okay? Even though Kim Kardashian, seemed to be turning the corner a little bit. She just passed a lawyer exam. Congratulations to her, But still, as a relationship, man, I mean, we know the history with the brothers, all right? Stop messing with these Kardashians. But anyway, moving on to the next topic. A fan has been hospitalized after watching the new Avengers Endgame movie, which leaves him crying uncontrollably. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not funny, because ain't no way in the world a movie should make you go to the hospital because you can't stop crying. It's not that serious. Yes, I know it probably is a good movie. I still have yet to see it. I've been ducking these spoiler articles all over the place. So far, I haven't got a spoil for me. But still, at the end of the day, no movie about no daggone superhero that you know is a fantasy should be making you cry uncontrollably to the fact where you got to go to the hospital. I mean, cut it out now. Now you're overdoing it, my brother. Now you're overdoing it. But I would say this. The only movie I would say that can leave somebody uncontrollably crying, and it actually makes sense, is if you was watching The Passion of the Christ. Because that movie's a tough movie to watch. We all know that. I remember people was walking out the movie theater on that. I mean, Passion of the Christ, I can understand that. Schindler's List, I can understand that. Any movie about slavery, like 12 Years a Slave, I can understand that. But other than those type of movies, ain't no movie in the world should be having you crying. Especially if it's about some daggone superheroes, all right? Now it's getting overboard. It's not that serious. But to wrap up the show, tonight, after this Raptors and 76ers game, we do have the Blazers ranked number 3 seed at the number 2 Nuggets tonight. Game number 1, 10:30 on TNT to cap off the doubleheader. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this series is going to be a good series. I see this series going 7 games. Why? Because these are two good teams. The Nuggets just had a battle all the way to the final minutes of Game 7 against the Spurs, and they won. Murray came up clutch and made a dagger to send these guys to the next round. They're a young team. To me, the farther they go in the playoffs, the more worried I am with them because they're so young, but they do have the talent. They do have the roster. The Joker, Nikola Jokic, is not a joker at all, except that he's a joker when he's not a joker, if you know what I mean. This guy's nice, all right? And I like what Jamal Murray brings to the table. On the other hand, you got the Blazers. You got Damian Dime. Damian Dime. That's what I'm going to call him. Damian Dime. That all he shoots up is dimes. All right, hitting a clutch shot in Game 6 against OKC from almost half court. I mean, pull up Paul G. I said Paul G. PG-13 defending him perfectly. Couldn't defend him any better. And he still pulled up in his face and shot that shot at the buzzer. This guy has what it takes. Now, like I said, I believe this is an interesting series. Obviously, the Nuggets have the home court advantage. But if I'm being real here, if I'm picking this series, I'm going to go personally with the Blazers in Game 7 to win this series. Why? Because I just like Damian. I take Damian Dime. All right, Mr. Clutch guy himself. One of the clutchest players in the NBA top 5, along with CJ McCollum. I trust them in a Game 7 with the experience that they have, because the Blazers have more experience than the Nuggets do. I mean, they played Golden State in the playoffs. That's all the experience you need too. They lost in the first round, but they played the Pelicans last year. So they've been down this road before. They've been in the playoffs before. So this is my team that I'm picking to go to the Western Conference Finals to play Golden State when it's all said and done. You know? So I'm going to go, I like my chances with Damian Dime in a Game 7 against these young, inexperienced Nuggets players who can ball, who can play, but I just like my chances with the Blazers. But prepare for an excellent series. The cap things off tonight. The Bucks lost in, surprising fashion against the Celtics last night. Paul Pierce said that he believes the series is over. Not so fast. I do believe, however, that Celtics got the edge now, because now, like I said, these are young players, and they got to rebound from being down 0-1 and losing that home court advantage. But I still going to go with the Bucks to win in Game 7 because I do believe Giannis is going to have better games than the one that he had yesterday when he got shut down completely by Aaron Baines and Al Horford. I do believe he's going to be able to, get it going. And I'm going to still take the Bucks to win that series. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much wraps up the show. There's a lot of things going on in this world. There's a lot of sports going on, a lot of pop culture news. And on the Real Leel Show, I cover them all, ladies and gentlemen. I cover these topics. I do what I got to do. And don't forget, the next week, Monday night, 8 to 10, is the season finale of the Real Leel Show. You don't want to miss that. The season finale of the college version, the podcast version of the Real Leel Show, will start back up within a couple weeks after the season finale. I'll be back home in the city, in New York City, and I'm telling you, the podcast version is better than the college version. All right, so you definitely want to add my YouTube channel, subscribe, Real Leel TV. Once again, Real Leel TV. Definitely subscribe to that. And this Thursday, catch me in the huddle with Kenny C. Or you can talk sports, or you can name, or you can talk, or you can discuss. Ain't no fuss. We out on the bus. We out.